I think our society tends to tell women that we measure our worth by our accomplishments. And so we are told to go to college, get a degree, contribute to society, have a job. All of those things that are measurable are lauded and applauded. The things that are not measurable and are unseen typically don't get noticed by society and sometimes don't even get noticed maybe by friends or family. What you do in the moments of your home when you're constantly sacrificing and pouring out and serving the needs of your family are very private and they don't get seen. And also the seed when your children are young, we're planting seeds. We're not really harvesting. We're not seeing the fruits of the seeds that we plant. So when you have little children at home and you're constantly planting those seeds, it's hard to see the harvest that's coming. And so you can feel underappreciated or undervalued. That is a common feeling for women for sure. I mean, prior to staying home with my children, I was a magazine editor. And so I had found so much value and so much worth in my work and seeing my name in print and seeing my picture on the letter from the editor's page and all of these accomplishments that I was applauded for. It was easy for me to try to find my worth in that. And so motherhood so much of motherhood is done in the unseen spaces. And it's hard if you're used to finding your value and your worth in accomplishments that are publicly noticed, it's really hard to make that shift. But what I've learned is that God sees it all. We already talked about that. He sees everything, but also there's a very real reward coming for us because, and we can get into this a little bit more, but our mission as Bible believing, gospel centered moms is to raise disciples who will go out and tell the world about the grace of Christ. The world is desperate and hurting to know the good news of the gospel. And our role as believing moms is to be go and tell moms. We are called to raise up a generation of disciples who are going to go out and tell the world. That kind of work, we may not even see the fruit of that work this side of heaven. It may not be seen until we're face to face with Christ. But it is a work that is immeasurable and invaluable. We just have to have a shift to be able to see that. And so many times we can't see it out of our own sheer will or just by convincing ourselves. We actually have to take it to the Lord and just pray, God, open my eyes. Help me to see the value of this role. Help me to see what I'm doing in these unseen spaces, in these small moments. Help me to see how I'm serving you and how I really am laying the foundation and planting seeds that are going to bear fruit years from now, generations from now, into eternity.
I've been studying the genealogy of Jesus, which sounds kind of strange, in Matthew 1. And there are 5 women that are listed, and it's Tamar, Ruth, Rahab, Bathsheba, and Mary. And I just love thinking about them as mothers and just the life that they all lived. None of them were perfect, but they were faithful. And do they have any? They probably do, but they probably at the moment had no idea the lasting impact and that they were going to be in the lineage of Jesus.
Yeah.
It's just so beautiful to think how God is molding our stories in this unseen work, but then like the impact and the future harvest that's going to result. I think we're all going to be blown away when we see it all one day.
I think so too. I really do think as moms, there's going to be a time when we're on the other side of heaven, I think we're going to meet people who come up to us and say, you don't know me, but I'm here because your son told his daughter, who told her daughter, who told her son, who told his son about Jesus. And so there's this thread that gets woven and we have been purposed and intentioned to play a role in that. And it is a privilege that we should not take lightly. But society and the enemy doesn't want you to see that. The enemy wants you to get bogged down in the here and the now and to measure your worth by society standards. And so it is a spiritual battle. We have to pray that the Lord would open our eyes to see his truth and his reality and his purpose and intention for motherhood, because only then when he gives us the eyes to see and when we begin to be transformed by the renewing of our mind because of the Holy Spirit at work within us, that's when we can start to see how gospel-centered motherhood will ripple throughout the ages.
Yeah.